Good Moed. We are about 15 lines from the top. Vizhar b'rodim. These are the things that Rishub and Levi told his children. So the first thing he told them is, Du shnai mikveh targum. Next thing he says, Vizhar b'vridim. Be careful with the vrid, with the veins, I guess, right? Rabbi Yehuda, like the shita of Rabbi Yehuda. What does this mean? There's a machlekes tanaim if you have to shech the vridim or not of a chicken. So every animal has like a windpipe and a food pipe, right? So for a chicken, for an oif, you don't have to shech both simonim. You only have to shech roiv of one simon for it to be a good shchita. So you don't have to shech the veins at all. But he says, Rabbi Yehuda said you have to shech the veins so the blood comes out. Why? Because you might go ahead and do a barbecue, you might grill the chicken, roast it right then and there, right, before you've let the blood come out, and you're going to eat blood. So if you just shech its windpipe or its food pipe, you can shech the roiv of either one of them for it to be a good shechita. For an animal, you need to shech both of them, roiv of both simonim. But for a chicken, for an oif, you only need one simon. So why does Rabbi Yehuda say you need to shecht also the vrid to let the blood get out? Because you might go ahead and throw this chicken straight away on the barbie, and then you can eat blood. Now the question, the shaila is that the blood you eat, if it's cooked, it's not daraisa. There's no problem daraisa eating cooked blood. The problem is you're eating daraisa only raw blood. But he says either way, you should let the blood come out. You shouldn't have any blood. So the Reb Shua Levi threw this in there.
1 second. Like if you kasher liver, or in my case, I bought a package of Levovos Oath.
But that's already kasher, I assume.
No, they're not kasher.
I think they are kasher.
They're not. They're mamish not.
Oh, they're not kasher?
I didn't chop that.
No, yeah, a lot of people make that mistake.
The first 3 times I bought it.
I never eat liver. I'm like.
And then I looked at the thing.
It says you got to kasher it.
So I'm sitting there for 2 hours in the middle of the night.
You have to know how to kasher. It's very complicated. Liver is the most complicated thing because it says it's got tons of blood and therefore you have to grill it.
Right.
My apartment used to be next to this place where they professionally grill liver, and 24/7 it just smelled like Gan Eden. It was like the smell of grilled liver all day. It's like wow.
We're here.
Such a strong smell, yeah, in Mesham. Anyway,
you notice in Israel you can get beef liver, but it's not.
There's chicken liver. That's the main thing.
Chicken liver is much more popular. Than
apparently, it's a bit weird. Okay, we're not going to get into it. It's not really our sugya, but so says Rabbi Shua ben Levi. Be careful, shechta, what's it called? Cut the vridim in order the blood should come out. Then he says something else. Vizaru bezakein sheshachach talmudai. And be careful with an old man, old Talmud Chacham that's forgotten his Talmud. Machmus einsai. He didn't just forget his Talmud because he's he's lazy. He's been on the beach all day. He forgot his Talmud because Rashi says he's sick, or what does Rashi say? Mishum Machmas, it's the second narrow line in Rashi. Shechala, he got sick. Or he had to get a job. He didn't have money to support his family, so he worked. He got a job. Hashem Merachem. So his harabog b'chleidai. So be careful with this guy. He once was a Talmud Chacham. Now he forgot everything. So you got to be careful with his covered. So these are 3 things Reb Shua ben Levi told his children to be careful with. Shnei mikra ve'echad targum, which we spoke about last week. Shechting the chickens, shechting the vrid, and Talmud Chacham. So let's see, the Gemara says, why? Darminon, why should you be careful with the Talmud Chacham? Luchais, v'shivei luchais, menachim ba'arein. So everyone knows Moshe broke the first luchais. But those luchais, together with the new luchais that he got, they were all together in the Aron. Luchais, v'shivei luchais, menachim ba'arein. They were all together. So Amaluhu Rava lebane, Rava told his children, when you cut meat, al tachtechu gabayad. Don't shech the meat in your hand. Like you've got a piece of meat there, right? You want to eat it. Don't hold it in your hand and cut it. You know, I guess they didn't have a lot of plates. They didn't have chat pami in those days. They didn't have, disposable utensils. Don't hold the meat and cut it. Why? Not because of germs and all that type of thing, but because Igadami Mishum Sakana. Some say it's because it's dangerous. You're going to cut your hand. You got this razor sharp knife, you're cutting the meat, You might end up cutting your hand. Vikadami mishum kilkul suda. The blood from your hand's you might cut yourself and go ahead, and the blood's gonna go into the meat. Now you ruin your meat. You can't eat the meat.
Why can't you wash it off?
You could, but yeah, you ruined it. No one wants to eat this thing now. Take a look at Rashi. Rashi says, you read Rashi? We're talking about a cook. I guess he's talking about where the meat's already cooked. He's not talking about where it's raw. So Rashi says, even you get a small little cut on your finger, right? We're not worried about sakana. It's dangerous. You're going to chop off your hand, right? The first shot is sakana. You might chop off your whole hand. Second shot is no. A little bit of blood's going to come out. Yetzidam. A little bit of blood will squirt out. It's going to ruin your brisket. And now all the people are sitting there ready to eat. They're going to be disgusted. It's mashma. He says they're going to be disgusted. It's mashma that you're right. You could clean it, but guess what? No one's going to eat it. It's like, hey, I just washed off my blood from this piece of meat. First of all, have you ever had like a piece of washed brisket? It ain't good. You want the sauce. You want it to be like nice and hot and saucy. You don't want to have like, okay, guy just washed it under cold water. Washed up. You're right. Luckily you can. You eat it later, but so that's I guess the machlokes.
Rebroil.
So first thing Rava says is don't cut the meat in your hand. Okay. And don't sit on an Aramic bed. Not ceramic, Aramit. Mita Aramit. We're going to see what this all means in a second. And don't walk behind the shul when they're davening. Okay, so what does it mean? Don't sit on a bed of Aramit. So why? What does that mean? Some say, what does that mean? That means don't sleep without saying Krishma. That's what Mita Aramis is. We'll see hopefully what's the connection between Mita Aramit, an Aramic bed, Aramaic, that's what you say, Aramaic bed, and Krishma. Some say it means don't marry someone who converted. Some say it means an Aramaic bed, literally. Why? Don't actually sit on the bed. You shouldn't sit on an Aramaic bed. We're going to see, because of a Maisa that happened. Mishamaisa Rav Papa Ozala Bey Goya. Rav Papa went to this Aramaic woman's house. The Mepharshim explain that he went to pick up money that she owed him. So she said, here, sit down on the bed. Sit down on the bed over here while I get the money. He said, I'm not sitting down. I'll sit down, pick up the bed first, then I'll sit down.
What does that even mean?
He said, I know what I'm sitting on. Pick up the bed. I don't know. He had Ruach HaKodesh. He knew, he was careful. She picked up the bed, and he saw that there was a dead baby. She was trying to blood libel him that he sat down and killed his baby, right? So that's why they said you should never sit down on a bed of someone Aramaic. In other words, be careful.
They're trying to free me.
Yeah. Okay. And you shouldn't walk behind the shul when the tzibbur's davening. This assists Reb Shua ben Levi that says, you shouldn't walk past the shul when everyone's davening. What's the difference between the three things that Reb Shua ben Levi told his son and the three things Rava told his children? There's two different things. So some want to explain that Reb Shua ben Levi told his kids, first of all, what's the connection between the three things Reb Shua ben Levi told his kids? They're all things that give you arichas yomim. He was trying to help them out, giving them medical advice, giving them advice how to live your life have a long life. So he told them, Shnai mikveh chatagam gives you a long life, right? That's what it says. Someone who does Shnai mikveh chatagam gets a long life. The second thing he says is, be careful with shechting the vridim. Get out all the blood, right? And the third thing he says is, be careful with the Talmud Chacham that forgot his Torah. So why should you be careful? Why should you be careful with all these things? Are things that give you a long life. Long life. Be careful with the Talmud Chacham, long life, right? Even though he's forgotten his Torah, and shechting be careful. I guess the other thing is sakana. It's also
It all deals in all of these things we're talking about.
They're all things that give you a long life. That's the nekuda.
What is cutting your hand?
Oh, so hold on. No, so 1 second, huh?
Not according to not well the one with cutting your hand is not to spoil.
Oh,
the
so
meal.
that's
not
so no, so that's Rav. Oh, so Rabbi Shua ben Levi doesn't say cutting the hand. He says Shnai Mechor Targum, Vridim, and be careful with the Zakir Shechach Talmudai. These are all like some type of spiritual things. Torah. Rava comes and says, you know what? It's not good enough to just be worried about the spiritual. You got to be worried about the physical also. That's what he throws in. Don't cut on your hand. It's dangerous. It's a sakana. He's telling them it's not enough to be careful in life with just the ruchnius. You got to take care of the gashmis also. You got to take care of the physicality. In other words, what? Don't cut your hand. You chop off your hand. Don't sit on this bed. If you could end up getting
Libel.
you could get libeled. So I just want to say, what's this din? Why is it called? The first opinion is that if you don't, what's a mitaramik or a make bed? Is a bed that you didn't say Krishma on. So what's the connection?
Because
Why is it?
Krishna keeps away the
But why is that called so why is that called the Aramaic bed if you don't say Krishma? So what the Masha explains is that Aramaic is a language that angels don't understand. They don't speak Aramaic. Gemorah says Mefurish, they don't speak Aramaic. Some of our tefillahs we say in Aramaic, so especially so the angels shouldn't understand. Aramaic was an ancient language. According to, it looks like it was given at Har Sinai. The Targum is definitely that old, the language, roughly. We know it was like over 3,000 years old, and it looks like Torah was given with its. It's like German and Yiddish. It's a very similar language to Hebrew. It's based on the language, but it's like what's the word? It's a colloquial Hebrew, right? They spoke Aramaic more than they spoke Hebrew. It's like, everyone speaks a good Yiddish, but not everyone spoke a good German, right? But it's based on the same language. So what's the nukuda over here? So you're not supposed to, barabim, you're allowed to daven in Aramaic. When you're davening in public, you can daven in Aramaic. Tefillah barabim is accepted. But the Gemara says, according to the Mashal, that when you daven b'yichidus, you should never daven in Aramaic. Because the Malachim don't understand your tefillahs, they're not going to take it up. So if you said Kriya Shema in Aramaic, normally you can say Kriya Shema, and surely you can say in Aramaic, whatever language you understand. But if, and you Kriya Shema Lamit, you're davening by yourself, and you're saying Aramaic, so you're wasting your time. Right? The Malachim don't understand. They're not going to take up your tefillahs, right? So a mit Aramaic is like saying it's like you didn't say Kriya Shema. It's the same thing. You're saying Kriya Shema in Aramaic. That's why Aramaic bed means a bed that you didn't say Kriya Shema on.
That's the question. Why did they deprive the Malachim of the ability to understand Aramaic?
Very good question. Why do the Malachim not speak Aramaic? Some say it's because, as a cover for Lashon HaKodesh, it's a secondary language. It's not Lashon HaKodesh. It's not the holy language.
English.
They speak all the languages, but because it's so similar, like Chazal says, we're more makbid with Dorabolans and Doraisas. Sometimes you have to make a hacker. They didn't want everyone to just speak Aramaic and not Hebrew. Everyone spoke Aramaic in those days, I guess. That's what it sounds like. The Targum, people did the Targum so they should understand the Chumash. Nowadays, we read the Chumash, you understand the Targum, but they spoke Targum. That's the language. They spoke Aramaic. So why, in order that people shouldn't forget about the Hebrew Legamri and just daven in Aramaic, Malachim don't speak Aramaic. That's it. You got to daven in Hebrew now. Lashon HaKodesh. Oh, what did you hear? I didn't like the pshat I had. I'm desperate for a different pshat.
That the shleimos by the Kisei HaKavod, with the tefillos I heard, is the shleimos of Lashon HaKodesh. Therefore, when they hear the tefillos, it has to be translated into. So they don't translate it because they can't translate it. Meaning they have to say it in Aramaic, but if it's in Aramaic, it's missing, it's lacking the shleimos.
Why do they say in Aramaic? Who said what? I'm
Meaning,
about the who.
if I daven in English,
Yeah.
So they translate it to Hebrew, and it's
they have
good.
to translate it to Lashon HaKodesh, right? But they can't translate it to Lashon HaKodesh because you can never do exact translation. So it has to be said in Aramaic. But if it has to be said in English. If it has to be said in English, it's lacking that shleimus.
Okay, we're running very late here. To be continued. Says the Gemara. Where are we? Okay. Amar Abaye. So Amar Abaye, the lake of Pisachrin. When can you not walk behind the shul? This dinner you can't walk behind the shul. When do we say that? Oh, so Rav Abaye says, you know what? He's makel. When do we say? No. It's a good question. The Prima Garden has a chakira. Do we say you can't walk behind the shul, or even in front of the shul? We'll see. It could be. Is that only when people daven Shemona Esra, or the whole thing, the whole Psukkah de Zimra? People are davening. What's called b'shashem sibis v'alim? Just Shemona Esra or anything? They're saying Ashrei. They're saying Aleinu. You can't walk behind the shul. He says you should be machmir and never walk behind the shul. Right? That's only if there's one door. But if there's two doors, there's no problem. Well, people think you're not going in this door, you come out the other door. But if there's another door, there's no problem. That's only if there's no other shul in town. But most places there's more than one shul. If there's two shuls, there's no problem. And we don't say this if he's not carrying a heavy package. If the guy's carrying, wares with him, there's no problem. Or if he's not running, because if it looks like the guy's busy, he's running somewhere, he's carrying boxes, then there's no problem that he's not going into the shul. But if it looks like, I hear Kasha, but if there's only one shul in town with one door, you walk past slowly, it's not pshat that we think, oh, the guy's not coming to shul. It's a zilzal. It's, wow, this guy's not coming into shul. He's walking by slowly. He's not doing anything. You're not wearing tefillin, and you don't walk into shul. That's already a chutzpah. That's already a disgrace. Some want to say that all these things that Rava mentioned, these three dinim, are all things that are really good. You should walk near a shul. Why? You get there kaddish, you answer kedusha. It's a good thing. But there's a chash that you might come ahead, and someone will see you, and they'll think something bad of you. So even though really it's good, if you've got two sides of the road to walk past, the shul or the other side, you think, I'll walk near the shul, I'll answer kaddish, kedusha. Says Rava, no, don't, because people think, you're not going to shul. Cutting the meat. It's not good to have a big piece of meat, right? You're going to have a big, the Gemara says it's tavtanos, you shouldn't have a big piece of meat.
Maybe there's also down where you shouldn't come learn before down.
Yeah.
They're walking up before down.
Yeah, maybe. If there's more than one shul in town, you're okay. We assume you're done with somewhere else, but it's okay, don't worry.
I can't even show you the film marks.
You're a litvak, you put it on Cholam Moed, no?
Father was such a litvak. Oh yeah.
Okay, so the other thing is cutting the meat. Really, you shouldn't have a big piece of meat, so you might cut it in your hand. No, don't do it. It ain't worth it. The question is why shouldn't we say Kriya Shema ala mita? What's the havamina, according to the Shita, what's the havamina not to say Kriya Shema ala mita? So it's talking about Talmud Chacham, he's telling his children, big Talmud Chacham, and why do you say Kriya Shema ala mita? For mazikin, right? Yeah. Oh, so, but this guy's learning Torah all day, and Torah is Shema, you don't need to say Kriya Shema ala mita. So you might think it's a zilzal in your Torah. So it's a good thing. I don't want to say Kriya Shema Lamita. I'm a Talmud Chacham. I'm learning all day. You lie in your bed, you're reading a Ketzais. Now you got to say Kriya Shema. Torah's making for you. So you might think you're better off not saying it. So Rabbi says, no. It could be that you have Mazik and Afal Pichen. So I want to say, why? Okay. We're very late. We're getting to deep shot over here. Says the Gemara. Tanya, Amar Bekiva, B'shaish Dvarim, Oyev Aniyas Medayim, Hamoidiyim, people from Madai. When they cut meat, they do it on the table. Right? They don't do it in their hands. When they kiss on top of a hand. When they give eitzes to each other, secret advice, they only do it in the field. Yaakov wanted to discuss with Rachel and Leah that he's going to leave Lavan's house, they're going to sneak out. He did it in the Soda. Why? Walls of is, right? The gemorah says, initially says walls of is. They want to say that people ask, where do you see from this pasuk that he did it because he was worried about the walls of is? Maybe he was in the Sada. That's where he was. He told them, come to the Sada, we'll discuss this. And they say, because why can't you just discuss it at home? He went home at night, right? So why didn't he just talk to them at night at home? He didn't want people overhearing. Others say no, it's because it says El Sada El Tzainai. It was also for the tzayin. He was in the Sada because of the tzayin, and also because it was a Sada. The Torah is telling me two things. It was also tzayin that he was working there with, and also it was a Sada. There aren't people around. You walk around, you look around, there's no one around. Now you can start talking. The Torah specifically says it. You know, where do you keep the tzayin? Of course the tzayin are in the Sada. Where else are the tzayin? Okay, Tanya Rabbi Gamliel, B'shesh Dvar Rani Oivas HaPasim. Rabbi Gamliel said, I like the Persians. Why? Hensum B'achilos, and they eat modestly. V'sum B'veis HaKisei, they go to the bathroom modestly. V'sum B'davar Acher, and they're modest in marital relations. So I need to. What does it mean? I need to veisel mukudoshai. Hashem said, I have commanded my mukudoshim, the parasim who are Taner Reb Yosef al Eila parasim and mukudoshim uzmon legehenim. These are the Persians that are destined for hell. Why? What did the Persians do? It looks like they're tznuim. They're good. So what the Farshim explain is they're only good when it comes to how are we doimit to behemoths, to animals, the way people are doimit to malachim in three ways, the Gemara says, and we're doimit to behemoths in three ways. We're like behemoths, like how we eat, how we sleep, how we have relations, and bathroom. So they only were like, they took care of not becoming too animalistic when it came to these three things. But they didn't do anything, lagabi the neshama, lagabi the way we're doimit to malachim, which is how we talk, how you think, and with David Malachim we stand upright. It says with David Malachim we talk, we stand upright. Okay, so that's why they're such Rishonim. They've taken care of the three animalistic things, but they didn't go to Ruchnis, they didn't take it to the good. It's interesting, I saw that even nowadays in Iran, people don't eat in the streets. Unheard of, it's rare. Like you see Westerns walking around with with a drink or with they don't. They still 2,000 years later they still maintain some of that sneas and achila. Okay, Rabbi Gamliel, we'll wrap up over here. Oh no, we've still got 3 minutes. Rabbi Gamliel, we passing like Rabbi Gamliel. So it's going back to the Mishnah on Daf Beis. What did Rabbi Gamliel say? You can say Kriya Shema till Aleis HaShachar, not till Chatzais. Chacham said till Chatzais. Rabbi Gamliel said till Aleis HaShachar. Says Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, we passing like sorry, Alach Rabbi Gamliel. We passing like Rabbi Gamliel, so you could say Kriya Shema lechatchila until Alois HaShachar. Big machlokes we saw. Tana Reb Shimon Bar Yochai Eimer. Pamim she'adam kair Kriya Shema shtei pamim. Sometimes a person can say Kriya Shema twice. B'layla achas kodim she'ala Amud HaShachar v'achas la'achas she'ala Amud HaShachar. Someone can say Kriya Shema twice, once in the morning before Alois HaShachar, and once after Alois HaShachar. You can say Kriya Shema back to back. So you could be Yitzah saying Kriya Shema right before Alois for the night, and right after Alois for the day. So gemorah also go for kasha. What are you talking about? You said he reads Kriya Shema twice at night. So that means that it's Laila. Even after Alois, it's Laila. You just said you read twice at night. That means after Alois is night. So how could you be Kriya Shema Shel Yaim if it's night? What is the time between Alois HaShachar and Nates? Is that day or is it night? So he says it's night. So how could you be Kriya Shema Shel Yaim? So gemorah.
Nates is already considered.
Nates is for sure day. The question is if between after Alois, before Nates, is that day or night? So he said it's considered night, but you can also say Kriya Shema then. What is it? It's day or night? Make up your mind. You know what? After Alois HaShachar, it's still night. So why can you read Kriya Shema Shel Yaim? Since people get up after Alois, so you can say Kriya Shema. In other words, for Kriya Shema, it's not Tullian. It's not dependent on whether it's day or night. It's night. If someone says to you, is it day or night now? Right after lights. It's nighttime. So can you say Krishma Shalem? Yeah. You know why? Because Krishma Shalem is not totally in day or night. It's totally in B'shach of Kumecha when people get up. And people get up already then, so now you can say Krishma. Taisus asks, so why didn't the Gemara say even bigger Chiddush? The guy can say Krishma after lice twice, not once before lice or once after lice. He can say Krishma twice. Take a look at Taisus. Tema, imken lema rebusa. The Gemara should have told me something even bigger. The Gemara should have said, Shepamim yesh adam kaira la'acha shalom l'shachar shtei pamim. A guy can read Krishma twice after lice shachar. Now you've told me after lice is night and day. So why can't you say Krishma twice after lice? Once for Shachris and once for Ma'ariv. Why are you telling me a small chiddush you can read Krishma before lice and after lice? Tell me twice after lice. So some want to say, interesting pshat, listen to this. So I'm saying that you might think, if that would be the case, that it can't be back to back. In other words, he's telling me a chiddush that you can read Krishma right before lice and right after lice. So it means right after lice, split second after lice, is already morning. If you tell me that you could read Krishma after lice twice, so you might think that you have to read Krishma after lice, that's night, and then that 3 minutes takes you to say Krishma. After that 3 minutes, then you can read the day. But in those 3 minutes, you can't read Krishma of the day. His chiddush is you can read even of the day. Others want to say no, because you might think, if it would say you can read Krishma after lice, if Reb Shimon would say you can read Krishma after lice for night, you might think, we're going to wrap up here, you might think that since you can say Krishma, you can say it with the brachas and Ma'ariv and the whole thing. No. It says you can't say it with Ashkevenu. You can't say Ashkevenu after lice. Just Krishma. It's considered nighttime, but you still can't daven and say the brachas. Taisus answers, V'yeshlema, really it's night, b'sham mitzvahs. For everything else, it's considered nighttime. When it comes to korbanos and all that stuff. Tefillin, tzitzis. You can't put tefillin on, you can't put tzitzis on after lice. Avagabe krishma loy, hol v'iken shidikaimi. V'yishaita lazman shchivu. Okay, we have to wrap it up over here. They have started Shachris. Have a wonderful day.